Just Alice Stewart. Alice, you write in a new CNN op-ed that this decision is a victory for U.S. democracy. But we have to point this out. A new CBS poll shows 59% of Americans disapprove of the decision, including 2/3 of women. So how is it a victory for democracy when a majority of Americans don't agree with this?
It's a victory for the pro-life movement and for democracy, because what this does, this takes the important issue of abortion out of the hands of 9 unelected justices and puts it in the hands of elected representatives in the states. And we all know how democracy is. It is best when it is served of the people, by the people, and for the people, and in this case, closest to the people. So this isn't a nationwide ban on abortion. That's where a lot of people are getting this wrong. This simply puts the decision back to the states. I saw on one of the signs there that said politicians in robes. That's exactly what this is not. This is the justices says this is not in our purview. This should be in the hands of the people in the state. And they, as Alito said, Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. This is not for us to decide. And
but Alice, you know, Republicans are talking about a nationwide ban on abortion. Yeah. That's not sending it back to the states.
No, this is
the pro-life movement wants to go further. The anti-abortion movement wants to go further than this, right?
Well, I can tell you what the pro-life movement is doing. They are working now to turn to the states, work on each individual state to continue to further pro-life issues. But also, simultaneously, Jim, we understand that this is going to have a huge impact on expectant mothers and children. We're also working to support them with crisis pregnancy centers, with alternatives to abortion, such as adoption. So there are many avenues in place for the pro-life movement to help those that are going to be directly impacted.
But one of the avenues they are pushing for a nationwide ban.
No, they're working.
That's not sending it back to the states. I mean, that's just not.
If they're not pushing publicly for a nationwide ban, it's quiet whispers that this will happen, because that's what's happening. Look at what's happening in Missouri. The Attorney General is already saying, look, this is done. We're going to prosecute, et cetera, et cetera. You have other states saying the same thing. They're on the way. Any Republican-led state, and this is going back to states' rights. Let's talk about that, too. The Supreme Court not only overturned Roe v. Wade, but they put back into the hands of states' rights issues that we heard a lot about during Katrina, when then-President George W. Bush was saying we were waiting for the state to make decisions. This is a states' rights issue, and it's up to attorney generals who want to make a stand for Republicans who are very confused. You have one, okay, overturning Roe v. Wade, but then you're also talking about the death penalty at the same time. How about that? It's a lot of contradiction within this party where you stand.
Speaking of contradictions, let's remind everybody of what some of these justices had to say about precedent during their Senate confirmation hearings. Let's watch.
The Supreme Court of the United States has held in Roe versus Wade that a fetus is not a person for purposes of the 14th Amendment. And the book explains that.
Do you accept that?
That's the law of the land. I accept the law of the land, Senator, yes.
What would you say your position today is on a woman's right to choose?
Well, as a judge, it is an important precedent of the Supreme Court. By it, I mean Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey. Been reaffirmed many times.
Alice, didn't these justices mislead the American people?
Well, what they said was Roe was law of the land at the time, and it certainly was. Look, this was
implemented.
They weren't even asked if they would overturn.
But let me just, Alice, you and I have known each other a long time.
Exactly.
They misled the American people.
Yeah.
They did. They just did.
They
just
said
did.
exactly how they felt at that time during that confirmation hearing. But here's where
about one of the most important Supreme Court decisions in American history. I mean,
here's one of the most important things to keep in mind. Roe was handed down 50 years ago. We've had tremendous advances in medical technology since then. Now we're able to see, doctors can see the development of the fetus in utero. We can see it at 15 weeks, the brain, the hands, the heart, the blood pumping through the bodies. The advances in medical technology have made a tremendous impact on when we value life.
Or incest?
I think there should.
What happens in rape or incest when a young child herself, 12, 13, 14, or 15, is pregnant? You don't allow for that. It's not allowed for.
I think there should be exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I disagree with that aspect that many laws have. I think there should be exceptions in those instances.
And then they are criminalized at 12, 13 if they're raped or have incest. They're criminalized. They could go to jail. face jail time, and the doctor could face jail time in certain Republican states if indeed they want to make a tough decision and have services that the justices don't want them to have.
The penalties in most of the states are on the abortion providers. They're not on the women seeking the abortion. They're on the abortion providers, and they take.
For now.
That's the way it is now, and it's on the abortion providers.
Yeah, and this is a tough moment to accept for a lot of Americans. I mean, keep in mind what Donald Trump was doing last night. He was taking a victory lap last night on all of this, celebrating this decision as a victory. But the moment that got all of the attention came from Republican Congresswoman Mary Miller when she took the stage and said this.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
Now, her campaign says that she mixed up her words and that she meant to say right to life. But Alice, for context, this is the same lawmaker who quoted Adolf Hitler last year and said, whoever has the youth has the future. So there is a troubling record here when it comes to Congresswoman Miller. What's your response to that?
I watched that several times. I truly believe she misspoke. She didn't mean to say that. I know you disagree with me vehemently. I truly think she misspoke, and her campaign has said she meant to say right to life. Look, she has a tremendously strong pro-life record. She is a mother and a grandmother and has supported the life issue for throughout her entire time in public office. I think she misspoke. And look, people that speak in public often, they say a lot of things and they misspeak. And I don't go after other people who shall remain nameless, who often cannot remember what state they're in, because I think people misspeak. And I think that's what happened here.
Okay, so here's the deal. The irony is just too much to bear. She is a congresswoman for the state of Illinois that is going to be the state where many people are sending people to who want to have these services, these hard services that they're planning to have. That's one. Number two, she says that in front of the man who is questioned about his racism. Okay? She doesn't fix her Freudian slip, if you will, in front of him. Now, if she made a mistake, I could see her saying white to life, white to life. She said white life, end of story. She did not change it. I hear you, I hear what they said, but why can't she come out and say it? Why can't she say, because it's making
And the reaction
news.
from the crowd, too. I mean.
Yeah,
It's too much.
I think there should be it's really quick to fix this from a communication standpoint, having been in
She hasn't
situations.
done it.
Quickly put out a statement on social media and put an end to this, button it up, and people can
I'm not going to spin it. I'm going to call it what it is. She said white life. She could have fixed it, and she still could come out and say something now, Alice. White to life or white life. She never put a two inside of that and never corrected it in front of the man who has a problem with the other. I'm sorry. I disagree.
Again, I said I think she misspoke. She didn't mean to say it, but this has taken on a life of its own. It's gotten a lot of attention, and from a communication standpoint,
She needs to do more than what
yes, yeah.
her office has done.
She
Just
needs
putting
to
out a
come
statement.
out.
She needs to do
She
more.
needs to do it
That's
herself.
just obvious.
Even if she goes on Fox and says something.
All right. Ladies, the conversation started before the segment began. I'm sure it's going to continue, but thank you both for coming in.
Thanks.
We appreciate it,
Thanks,
April,
John.
Alice. Thank you. Coming up, as we continue to watch the nationwide protests over abortion rights, we'll get a firsthand account